Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be one of probably three. I'll figure it out as I go along here. But we're going to do installments of what I want to call levels of fitness. As everyone says, you got to start somewhere. And we're going to start level one right here with a beginner level total bundle of how to get started with working out. Now on the screen, probably on this side right here, probably screwed over, it's going to be right here for the extent of this next little bit, is my routine right here. As it says, beginner level 1, 3 sets of 7 reps, an hour workout. Now I know a lot of you guys can't do my 2.5, 3 hour upper body, and that's understandable, totally cool. This is an hour workout. Now as you can see, I don't have any of the exercises labeled. It doesn't say incline bench, decline bench, because it's going to be super variant on what you guys want, what you guys know, what you guys have done before. And honestly, if you guys have a handicap or maybe an injury, I don't want to clog it up with stuff you can't possibly do or stuff you already know how to do. So I will put the other little thing right here next to me of the list of the 25. We do probably more likely 30. There's some few that aren't on there right now. And you can just label it and go and plug it right into this stuff as you go. So as you can see, it says chest, back, traps, biceps, and goes on and so forth. Now it follows a certain pattern that I like to do when I lift about breaking up the muscles. So obviously we do upper lower split. I've said it multiple times, and that means everything above the waist you hit on the same day, you hit on the same time. So within this hour, you're gonna hit everything. Now you want to do this in a certain manner because you don't want to do bicep to bicep to bicep to bicep. You're just going to fatigue it, and then when you go to do the rest of them, since everything's interconnected, you're going to hurt and hinder those other exercises. So you're going to follow a rough pattern, again, completely flexible by you guys. I have it chest, back, traps, biceps, shoulders, and it just kind of cycles back into that same thing. Because if you hit chest, which is a pushing exercise, right, you're going to hit your triceps, you're going to hit your chest, minimal back and shoulders. That next one, you're going into back, which is pulling stuff. In this case, it could be a deadlift, it could be a bent over row, it could be a seated row, it could be a cable pull, anything that works that back. Now, obviously, doing different exercises is going to split that pump between your lower back, your upper back, creating a wider back. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of fortitude with this stuff on the list. You can make it flexible. So pick one, and you could shuffle this around. Maybe one day you plug all your stuffs into here, and your second exercise is deadlifts. And then 2 days from then, when your next exercise, instead of deadlifts, you hit like seated cable rows. Anything that's going to get you a better back exercise, than just doing a push-pull split, which is good, but you've heard my marathon why I think upper-lower split's better. But as long as you follow this rough outline of breaking down those muscle groups and hitting stuff that's not complementary. So obviously chest and back is non-complementary because they don't constantly push and pull with the same muscle. The principles still apply of push and pull, we're just not using them. And then as you can see, it goes right into like chest, back, triceps, shoulders, following that same pattern. The last two are ones I like to do total upper body, or closest total upper body as you can get. Stuff like burpees is going to do a lot of upper body, but it's going to involve some legs, so I don't normally like to throw it in there. Pull-ups. Pull-ups are going to work your biceps, they're going to work your triceps, they're going to work your back, a little bit of your chest, that forearm, grip strength. It's hitting a lot of different stuff. So I like to really throw pull-ups in with the very end. Obviously, thinking ahead a little bit, if your last back exercise is towards the bottom, you don't want to go lat pull downs to pull-ups, because a lat pull down is essentially a pull-up with you seated. So you kind of have to think ahead, and this is where asking questions, being part of the comment community, saying, hey, I want to do this, what do you think of this and this breakdown? I'm this tall, I'm this condition, what would this work? I'd be happy to answer questions. I'm on the computer all the time answering random questions. And then obviously the last one for my variation is push-ups, either weighted or non-weighted. Now what you guys are about to see is an Excel document of the second half. So that first part is what you can do in an hour, a minimal hour-long workout, what's really realistically feasible. Now this is another side of what people say is, oh, I don't have my nutrition on point, it's too expensive to meal prep, I just can't be bothered with it, so if I can't do that, there's no point in working out, and the whole thing gets sidelined. This is a super simple, perhaps overly simplified breakdown of not only meal prep, but just where your money goes when you're spending it on stuff. So as you can see here, I put nutrition budget per week. Now, this is super minimal. It's not counting things like spices and sauces and little extras, but that's the kind of stuff more than likely and realistically you have lying around your house. If you're married, more than likely your wife has mounted this huge closet full of spices, because I know my wife has. Or if you're a younger guy living at home whose parents don't constantly stock the fridge with like random sauces and spices in the cabinet and such like that, but they're going to be counted as like a secondary staple that you'd already have. Same thing with like milk, and those random things. Staples don't get counted as extra budget because they're exactly that, they're staples. So as you can see down the list, and this is super minimalized, because honestly, when you first start working out, when you first start putting the time in the gym, you should not be worried about what's a really interesting meal prep this week. Do your time on the chicken, rice, and vegetable grind, and you will be rewarded. And when you start to get those beginner gains, and when you start to get those serious mass stacks on you, or perhaps if you're cutting, if you start to see those really good results, then you could worry about, now this is starting to get boring, how do I specialize, or how do I make my meal preps unique? Hey, we got you on that too. There's 14 on the channel right now that are definitely not boring, very easy and interesting. But for right now, chicken and rice grind, that's your job, and that's what you're gonna stick to, and that's what this Excel document caters towards. So again, going down the list, chicken, which I get in frozen 5-pound bags. Washington State, a little bit higher cost of living, so these numbers might be a little bit different, but it's $10 for 5 pounds. Realistically pretty good, and that'll last you about 2 weeks. There is, based on what your meal prep necessities are, how much you eat, if you're a bigger guy, less guy, all that sort of intricacies, it's roughly $10 for 2 weeks. So $5 a week realistically, but I left it as 10 just for sake of easiness. Next up is the rice. Now, if you get the big Uncle Ben's minute rice, super simple. It's about $3 to $4 depending on what size you go with and what type, if it's brown or white rice. And realistically, that'll last you about $3 for 2 weeks, because it's a pretty big box. I use 4 cups at a time, and it lasts me about 2 weeks of meal prep. So it'll last you guys who should not be / perhaps are not eating that much. And then as well, like the frozen bags of veggies, you don't have to go crazy all out and get fresh vegetables. If that's your game, cool. It's gonna be a little bit more expensive. Frozen vegetables, just as good, and honestly, they're a little bit easier to work with. And depending on where you get them, where you live, how big a bag, it's roughly gonna be about $3 for a week. Maybe about $5 per week. Then there's the eggs, so that first part, that's gonna be your main meal prep that you actually make in your containers that are gonna be your lunch, your in-betweens, and perhaps your dinner, depending on how you run things. So that's gonna be your main actual meal prep. This next bit is gonna be your breakfast, which I still count as meal prep because not many people are gonna go through the type of eating that you are. So I'm gonna count it as non-staple breakfast eating. It's not exactly gonna be French toast or like a pop-up Eggo waffles. We're gonna do eggs, some sort of bread, however you wanna do it, bananas, oatmeal, and yogurt, which is pretty damn good breakfast. And honestly, it's not that expensive to do. So eggs, 5 dozen, where I buy them at least, are $6, and that lasts me, depending on how you use them. I do 8 eggs, sometimes 9 eggs, so that 5 dozen will only last me a couple days. But for this sake, I'm gonna count 5 dozen eggs at 4 eggs a day equals a half a month, so 15-day supply. So it's gonna be $6 for 15 days. And then that'll calculate later on a little bit easier. So again, we're gonna do 1 loaf of bread, which for one person for a week is not hard to do. It's like 2 slices. That should last you perfectly good. 1 loaf of bread for a week, just to make toast, maybe put like peanut butter on it, maybe put a banana on it, something like that. And then you also have the 2 bunches of bananas, $3. They're not too expensive. Bananas are super cheap, really good for you. Potassium, sugars, starches, you want those. And it's just something sweet that breaks up the sort of savory elements that we keep having. And then we also have like oatmeal. I go to Costco and I get like a big container, and it's 2.5 pound bags for like $6. I put it on here as like 5, because if you get the standard one, the really big like Uncle Ben's or Quaker, whatever it is, it's probably more like $5. And yogurt, 7 a week, about $5, depending on which brand you get, what type you get. As long as it's some sort of mildly protein rich yogurt, you want those calcium amounts, you want those protein. And honestly, the active ingredient in yogurt, the lactic bacillus, or however you pronounce that, keeps you regular, and honestly, it's really good to help digest that protein and stuff we got going on for the rest of the meals in the day. Yogurt's just healthy, we'll go with that. Sweet potatoes. It doesn't have to be this way. You could supplement more rice or less rice and more sweet potatoes. I like to split them about evenly per meal prep, and it's about 3 sweet potatoes a week because I do, again, larger, smaller preps, but 1 week should last you about 3 sweet potatoes. So breaking that whole total down at the very end there, you'll see it says $44 per week or $6 a day. $6 a day sounds a tad expensive, but honestly, it's not that bad. So 44 bucks a week for your meal prep. Now this isn't including like dinner, perhaps. This could be your entire week worth of nutrition and food surplus. But realistically, if you're married, you're probably gonna eat dinner with your wife, or if you're at home, your parents are probably gonna want to eat dinner with you. I know it's super annoying, but that's probably gonna happen, and that's fine. That's just gonna make less budget on your end. So $44 covers your meal prep for the week. Now, if you drop it over to a month, as you can see, the numbers increase, but not very much, because again, that chicken's in a 10-pound bag, it's gonna last longer. The 5 dozen eggs are gonna last longer. The bread is gonna be a little bit different. Frozen vegetables, all that kind of stuff. It increases a little bit, but not by much, because chances are, if you're bulking, you're gonna get the bigger quantity. Bigger quantities equal less cost because it takes less manufacturing and handling for the producers and the companies. Boom. So the month total, I try to get it under $100, but I thought 120 is not too bad. That's really good, actually. So 120 for the end of your month. For meal prepping, again, it's gonna be different. If you live in a place where the cost of living is less, you might be able to get away with $120 and a lot different quantities, so that's good. Or perhaps if you live in New York, the $120 isn't gonna get you too far. Just part of living where you live, man. It's gonna be a little bit different when you meal prep. But the breakdown of that per day is $4 because those quantities are larger. And that's pretty damn easy. $4 a day is nothing. That's a really affordable sort of meal prep nutrition guide to go by. And on the right side, the very far right side that maybe I didn't include yet, but now you guys can see, is the cost of stuff you can cut out to outweigh the cost of nutrition and meal prepping. Now these next ones are things, like I said, you can get rid of, but I realized people got their own lives, people have reasons for what they do, and I'm not gonna stand on a soapbox and say, hey, quit smoking, it's for your health. Y'all have probably heard it enough, and that's beyond me. That's beyond my reproach to say to you anyways. So let's talk about the average cost of smoking. Again, a habit that is sort of blind, but it's very expensive. As you can see, even at like $6 a pack, again, cost of living might be different where you're at. 3 packs a week, which is pretty light. I went on the low side because I know smokers, I know people who like avidly are avid 1 pack a day smokers, and people bum off you all the time. So for you younger kids out there, don't start smoking. But it's a really expensive habit. Even at 3 packs a week at $6, that's 72 bucks a month for just cigarettes. That almost is half of your entire nutrition surplus right there if you quit that. Again, not soapboxing it. Cost of drinking per month, I'll be guilty. I spend money on like a 6-pack here, or maybe like a bottle of wine for like an event somewhere. But realistically, if you're bulking or you're getting on this nutrition grind, there's some stuff you just need to cut out or / cut back on. And drinking and going overboard on stuff that's expensive additions to your diet, this is definitely one of them. 32 bucks a month for drinking alcohol. Again, extremely on the light side. 1 6-pack a week is pretty damn light. That's 100 bucks right there. We're getting really close to already augmenting our nutrition and meal prep bonus right there. Drink of like soda. I put soda because that's the easiest thing to cut out right away to make a dramatic overhaul in your overall health and nutrition, is cutting out soda, adding in water or healthy juice. Make sure you read the back to see if there's a lot of sugar added, but cutting that soda out will not only save you a sort of minuscule $12 a month, but it will make a huge difference. I just put on there one for banter because that's a little $12 hit a month for something you just don't need. That already brings us past the 120. The next one is like eating / dinners out. If you're out with the family and you're out there for like an occasion, that's just part of the game. If they make you pay and your mom's making you pay for dinner when you're out anyways, that's a little weird, but it happens sometimes. You're just gonna get stuck with that. What I'm talking about is when you're at work, like I've been before, and you're too lazy to meal prep, and you don't bring anything, you're like, what's like a $5 meal, or what's like something from a restaurant like $7. So I put $7 per meal 3 times a week. Realistically, if you're gonna skip once, you're probably gonna skip 2 times. So that's about $84 a week. If you're like, $7 here is not that bad, or I'm gonna buy a snack at work, or I'm gonna go down the street and get $4 coffee or $5 coffee, stuff like that. Little nitpick stuff that hits you throughout the week that you don't think about. $84 for that kind of stuff. Even more expensive than smoking cigarettes is those little nagging in and out trips, and those eating out trips, and that'll get you. So that's at like 200. Again, really, really small on the realistic approach to that. It's probably a lot higher than that. It's probably more likely 300 at the bare minimum. But this is just a justification of the small stuff you could change to offset the potential increased budget of nutrition, which again is a huge complaint by people that they don't have the extra money to drop on nutrition and meal prep. Again, it's a very simplistic view, I know, but it works, and I guarantee if you cut out some of the unnecessary stuff that's taking a priority over your fitness, the money for working out, fitness, gyms, and gym clothing will definitely be there. So that covers not only the workout side, that covers the nutrition side. Those are your 2 big games. Those are everything you need to get started or to come back into fitness. Now, I know the inevitable question that I'm probably gonna see a comment on, or maybe a Twitter comment, is what about supplements? They're a huge part of the industry. They're everywhere. They're on magazines, they're on ads, they're on probably the ad for this channel too. Right now, you don't need to worry about supplements. You're at this beginning stage where your body needs to be able to adjust to not only a different workout, to a different set of nutrition. You don't want to stack on weird supplements that your body has no idea what's going on. If you're a heavy set person and you just changed your diet and you just added a new routine in, you're going to lose weight. I guarantee change becomes change. You can't add this and not get any results. That would be a very, very rare fluke, and I guarantee something's wrong along the way that isn't a factor of those things. So you are going to get results. You are going to lose weight. You're going to get stronger and healthier. Food and workout. That's all you need at this point. And if you're the skinny guy, trust me, I've been there. It's really easy to get sucked in by the stuff that's like mass gainer, lean bodybuilder, like test boosters, all those kind of stuff that are targeted towards you. Honestly, that's the whole point of the game, is they're targeted towards specific audiences. Don't get led to that. Don't get preyed into it. Right now, if you're a skinny guy, like I said, you're 100 pounds, you just stacked on all this nutrition and you're stacking on this new exercise program, you will gain weight, you will gain strength, and you will start to fill out your frame like your mind and body connection wants. All you have to do is give it time. You will see results. You'll stack on weight. The more you eat, the more you're gonna gain weight, the more that weight and good carbs and those good fats is gonna get turned into lean body mass. Your shape is gonna get bigger. The bigger your body, the more fuel you need, the more fuel you need, the more you have to eat. And it's just a cycle. Give the supplements more of a foundation to work upon. Give it time, don't take them right away, and just go with the simple nutrition and the workout plan that's on this video. I guarantee it'll work, it just takes time. I'll launch the second level probably in a couple days here, depending on how the feedback is, what you guys want to see, more of this, more of that. So let me know in the comments below. Any question you have, comments, concerns you guys have, that way I can make the second one better, longer, shorter, however you guys want to see it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new, take a look at this. Really look at this video. Push pause, take a picture of some stuff on your phone so you don't have to write it down or try to memorize it so you might forget. Take a picture of it. Think about what the simple steps you could do to get fit are. And these are the first 2 steps. These are foundations. Make sure to tag me in those social media posts so I know you guys are out there grinding. Always want to see that kind of stuff. Hopefully you guys' day is going well. Take it easy, gents.